Continue with our program of development. Our area, unfortunately, it's big, so to cover it all, it requires serious effort. And unfortunately, we are the only role players there. We have tried to draw government in. It has not as yet come onto the picture, although there are promising discussions which encourages and really motivate us to continue. In 2014, we were still focusing on infrastructure because our understanding is without infrastructure, all what we are thinking will be a pipe dream. And we have seen with the Muruling city, because immediately after we provided infrastructure, we then started to see investment coming in. So we have completed about 12-kilometer road, which is tar, to connect some villages to the city, so that they can be able to come and support the mall and be easy to access services and administration offices. We are continuing with that. I think we are left now with about 4 or 5 villages to be properly connected. And once the road infrastructure is done, I think we will be seeing the inflow of investment even in those villages. We are also about to launch officially the development of the Muruling Cultural and Heritage Precinct, which comprises of the Cultural Museum, a Stone Age replica cultural village, which it was discovered by some archaeologists within Pilane's back. It's about 1800 settlement of Kgosi, Pilane the first. So because it is inside the park, we can no longer do much development there, but we then decided to do a replica in a small scale within this precinct. So that's the Cultural Museum, Cultural Village, and then it will be a religious museum. We have restored a 125-year-old building, which is one of the first church buildings of the missionaries of Dutch Reformed Church, which we used to call it NG. By the way, Dutch Reformed Church was first established in the inland in Murule. So the whole of Transvaal, which extends up to Mpumalanga and Botswana and part of the Free State and part of the Northern Cape, which Mafike and all those, that whole region was under one NG Kerk, which was called Southpoort Gemeente. So that's what we now restored, because it was a building falling down, because in 1966-67 a new building was developed or erected, and this one was abandoned. So it has not been used and it was falling apart. So we restored it to the original state with almost more than 80% of the original structures. So it's part of this precinct. So in there we'll be talking about how religion, in particular Christianity, impacted on our culture, where there was synergies and its benefit or disadvantages. All those needs to be studied now, so that eventually we can come with a solution, so that we don't just do things on assumptions. We need to say this was good, this was not good. How do we then reconcile the two so that we get the way forward for the sustenance of everybody? So that's another project which has been completed now for 2014. We are continuing with the agriculture, which we started with the goat breeding scheme, which we are now expanding into various clusters, because according to our master plan, because we acknowledge the vastness of the area, we agree and accept that we would not be able to run across all the villages per village. We can rather do it in terms of clusters or groupings. Fortunately, our villages have been developed in such form. So it's easier to create a cluster with a central service center or service point with all the services that could then be shared. But it also creates sustainability, because if you try to do an individual village, you cannot do a mall and mall and mall and mall. It has to be centralized where everybody can then easily access those services. That's what we're doing now. Now, with all these projects, once the road is done, the agriculture comes in, commercial comes in, and the other services comes in. That's what will be doing. And we hope this year now, we will, if everything goes well, and especially when government seem to be coming in, we can link all the villages now with a proper road infrastructure, and then we can then do this development. So it will be roads, it will be agriculture, which is most important because it's part of us. So it just to improve, it's part of the strategy that we've always thought it has to be done. But it also shows and addresses the issue of utilizing our land optimally, because then we can see where it is necessary to do either crop farming or cattle, and all these are the services that we would consume ourselves before we even go into outside market. Well, fortunately, the bulk water scheme, it's not necessarily going to be focusing on agriculture. It's focusing on the services to the communities. We unfortunately don't have enough water in the region. So even the agriculture that we are focusing on is going to take cognizance of that. For instance, there are areas where you cannot even think of doing spraying or irrigation. But we are doing some collaboration with other communities who might have those water requirements, capacity. There's one of our neighbors in Molatedi. They are the Bakgatla and Kgosi. They fortunately had a dam called Molatedi Dam. It is inside Madikwe Game Reserve. So that dam has always supplied Botswana with water. It was developed during Bophuthatswana. Now it supplied water to Botswana, but the Molatedi people did not have much benefit of that. So we have now started collaboration with them. Or as we speak now, we have a field that we cleared. It always had some reticulation because there was a small agricultural project by the former Bophuthatswana government, but it has been abandoned by the new government. So we have revived that with them, and that is going to be one of the support systems, because with the irrigation we can even produce food for people and even the feed for agriculture. And this will also then develop and give opportunity for the Bakgatla people, because we are not going to be doing that farming there. It's for them. We assist them in producing, and then we can then together market the product. then it is also empowering them, it is developing them, addressing job problems there, poverty there. So it's part of the programs that we, so with the collaboration, obviously, that will look even into other communities who may not necessarily be around our area. By the way, I'm now the Deputy President of Contralesa, and Contralesa, it's a national body for all the traditional leadership, which means all the rural communities within the country. So we can also do collaborations if we have support of financial institutions or government or investors to go and replicate. And this has always been my position, that once this model is properly designed and it has proven to be something that can be replicated, we will be ready to assist to replicate it, to address the problems of rural underdevelopment or rural development.